Have you noticed that your Etsy sales are down in 2018? Or have you been on groups and forums and noticed that even some big Etsy sellers are saying that their sales are dropping 50% year on year? Why is this? Is Etsy dying? Let's find out. Hey, I'm Duthie, and I'm here to help you craft your career with creative marketing and artistic inspiration. And every Monday I make videos just like these, Etsy helps tips and advice to help you grow your business, sharing the tips that helped me grow my Etsy shop year on year for the past several years. So if this is something you're interested in, don't forget, come back every Monday. And stay tuned to the end of today's video so you get some actions to grow your shop and also some opportunities to get some help with your shop. So this wasn't the video I'd planned for today, but when I got up, again the forums and groups are exploding with people saying sales are down, and I just wanted to talk about this and reassure you all. And so what I've got for you today is 3 reasons that are not causing this, 7 things that might possibly be a reason, and 5 actions for what you can do if you're seeing your sales drop. So non-reason number 1, is Etsy just actually dying? Well, as I mentioned in my live stream a couple of weeks ago, Etsy actually just released their sales figures for the end of 2017. And really exciting that for the last quarter of 2017, for the first time ever, Etsy as a total hit $1 billion in sales for that quarter. So this is their highest ever for any quarter period of any year, and it's over 17% up on the same period of 2016. And also on Business Insider, just talking about the figures for US sellers, for American sellers, which is going to be the biggest market, for creative people online, Etsy is the biggest platform behind YouTube for creative people. So it is a growing marketplace, and it is still the biggest marketplace for people selling their handmade artistic goods. So no, reason 1 is a non-reason. Non-reason number 2, the changes in the declumping. So yes, Etsy have made a change, that they've changed the declumping, and this means that now it's no more a case that only one item from one shop can get on the front page of any given search. There are times now where there can be more than one item from the same shop on the front page. And this can and will have made an impact on some people's sales. But is this the reason that people's sales are suddenly crashing today? No. Etsy snuck this change in last year. This change has been happening for quite a while, so this will not be impacting you directly just now. They snuck this change in and then had the biggest ever volume of sales for a quarter. So no, this might be impacting individual shops, but if it was going to impact them, it impacted them a few months ago. It's not the cause of problems right now. Non-reason number 3, Etsy's made changes to the algorithm. It always does. It has to. Etsy makes changes all the time. And it has to make changes, see what happens, and if they're an improvement on overall sales, then these changes will stand. Occasionally it'll happen, they make changes that don't work and they have to revert back to how things were before. This happens all the time. This is how Etsy is able to grow, by making changes and trying to do better all the time. But has there been a massive change that's causing a dip just now? No, nothing major. So this is not a reason why you're not making sales and why people are saying they're not making sales right now. So the actual reasons that people might be seeing dips in their sales, there's 7 of these reasons, but the one big thing is it is individuals that are seeing the change. But because when one person shouts loud and says they're seeing a change, if a few other people hear it, then they start to believe, because they're looking for a change, they're looking for a reason, they're looking to want to blame Etsy. So you're going to start to hear a clump of people crying out and saying they're not doing well. But the thing is, you're only noticing it because you're looking. Years ago when I learnt to be a driving instructor, before I started I thought this would be great, there's not that many driving instructors out there. But as soon as we started training, everyone in the class with me, we all said how amazing it was that there's so many driving instructors on the road. When you start looking for something, you notice it a whole lot more than when you weren't looking for it. So if your shop has an individual slump and you're looking for the answer. You might go into the forums and see so many other people saying that there's been a slump. But there are always people having a dip in their sales. And when you're quiet, that's when you go on forums and groups, and that's when you shout the loudest, and that's when you notice. When you're suddenly run off your feet with sales, you're not going on forums and complaining that you've got so many sales because you're so busy. So you're noticing it more is the biggest reason. But reason one why your individual shop might have taken a slump is Etsy might be A/B testing things, which they have to and they always do. Every now and again, if one of your items has been on the front page of a search term and making some fairly steady sales, Etsy will occasionally give another item a boost to the front page to test and see if this other item by another shop is on the front page, does it do better or worse than this item that's been up for a while. They have to make these kind of tests, and quite often what you'll find is if your item does better, then it will get back onto the front page, so it might just be a temporary dip anyway. Reason number two, perhaps what you're making's not in fashion anymore. The galaxy unicorn foxy owl trend might be past the peak of the wave. So it might just be that what you're making's not as popular as it once were. Fashions change. Possible reason number three, a change in season. If you sell knitted gloves and the main of your market's in the Northern Hemisphere and it's coming into spring, you might be selling less gloves. If you sell Christmas gifts and it's now March, you're going to sell less Christmas gifts. If you sell chocolate and it's nearly Easter, you might be selling more. The season can have a big impact. Sales are seasonal for most people. What is normal for your shop might not be normal for another shop, but it's very, very unlikely that you'll get a shop that just has this amount of sales right across the year. It's going to be up and down. That's the nature of selling. Reason number four, competition. Even if Etsy made no changes and you made no changes, every day, week and year, there's different sellers coming to Etsy and they might be more or less competition for you. If someone comes in that has a fantastic item that blows yours out of the water, then sorry, you might not do so well. So keep a track of your competition, see what other people in your niche are doing and see how you compare to them. If it so happens that perhaps you're not as good as you once were, it might be time to up your game a little bit. Potential reason 5, reduced activity. Now, when you're in a busy period like the run up to Christmas, you're active in your shop every single day possibly. If you're getting lots of sales, you're selling, you're renewing, customers are giving you feedback, you're listing new items, you're changing things, you're keeping busy in your shop. When things come into a slightly more quiet period, you might go 3, 4, 5 days, a week, a couple of weeks and realise you haven't actually done anything in your shop. And search engines favour activity. If you're not doing stuff in your shop, then you'll start dropping out of the search rankings, you'll get seen less and you'll get sold less. It's a vicious circle. Reason number 6, potentially unhappy customers. If you've just had a little spell of maybe a couple of customers weren't happy, it happens, or perhaps you weren't a little late with shipping, then this for a short time could be impacting the sales in your shop. Etsy will be promoting you less because your customer experience has been less good. Never fear, this is a temporary thing, and if generally your customer experience is good, then you'll get back up there. But just make sure, go that extra mile, make sure you're shipping on time, your policies, everything in your shop is nicely up to date, and I'm sure you'll get some more 5-star reviews in and start taking off again. And finally, your keyword popularity. I found over the years, although certain items remain popular, the terms people use to search for them are not always the same. Over time, people use different keywords to search for things. So it might be that customised dog sculpture was really popular last year, but personalised dog art is popular this year. So keep an eye on these things. So what are these actions? What can you do if you're in a slump just now, or to make sure that you don't hit a slump? Well, action number 1, Build yourself a community. One of the biggest mistakes people have when they're busy and riding along, they just keep doing the same old thing, but they don't work on maintaining and keeping these customers that they've already got. So you could look at building yourself a mailing list or a social media group, or something where you can connect with your audience, but make sure that you're offering them value. People don't want to join a group just to get spammed. They don't want to see just what you're selling. But if you're giving sneak peeks of new things, if you're showing some behind the scenes, if you're giving random sales only for the people in your social media, or if even you're supporting people in your community, that's a reason for them to come and follow you. And if you've built a community elsewhere that's not just on Etsy, this means that if the worst happens and if Etsy died tomorrow, you still have a way of contacting a large chunk of your fans. Action number 2, have a look at what's coming up in trends. See what's going to be popular. See, is there a new games console, a new phone, a new movie, a new something coming up that you can pop on the bandwagon? Obviously steering away from copyright, making sure it's things that you can sell, but look if there's a way that you can jump onto a trend. For example, years ago, if you'd been a Harry Potter film and you knew the films were coming out and going to be big, you might have known that owls were going to be a big trend. So look at what's coming up and think, what might be the next big thing based on what's up and coming. You can also look at what the fashionable colours for the coming year are. What holidays and events are coming up? Is it the Oscars? Is Mother's Day coming? Try and keep on top of the trends and get your items out a good 2 to 3 months in advance of these trends hitting. Try a different style of photography. Look at ways that your items can pop and stand out in amongst all the other photographs in the search for the similar items to yourself. What worked and looked amazing 5 years ago might not be standing out today. So have a look at all the best practices for how a picture can draw people in. Have a look on places like Pinterest for what's popular, what are people liking to see visually, and see what you can do to improve your photography. Check that you're still actually ranking for the popular keywords that you've made sales on in the past. If you check and find that your sales have dipped, but you're not actually ranking for that keyword that you used to make the most sales on, then see what you can do about getting ranking again. Check out your SEO, look at the competition, think about complementary listings to your listing, look at inbound links driving more traffic, renewing your item, and possibly even look at some strategic short-term promoted listings just on that listing so that you can get back to the front page for the keyword that's a big winner for you. And the final and easiest but most powerful action is do a little something every day. Keep active. Even if you just go on and renew or relist one item, change a little bit of the SEO on one of your least selling items, add a listing, take away a listing, do something on your shop every single day, and this over time will make a massive difference. I hope all this has reassured you that first of all, there isn't a massive collapse in Etsy. Terrible things aren't happening. Yes, changes are happening, and it is in the nature that your shop isn't always going to do great. It's going to have ups and downs, and this is time to reassess, reevaluate, and do better, and hopefully the actions will help you. But if you're looking for a wee bit more help, don't forget, join in the Pam Duthie's Felting Friends group on Facebook and leave a link there to your shop if you're looking for reviews and bits of help and advice to hopefully grow your shop. Don't forget, click my wee face to subscribe, check the video that YouTube wants you to watch, and come back every Monday for more tips and tricks. Thank you so much for joining me.